my people were a spiritual people. They first thing they did is gave thanks for everything that they had, and everything they respected everything as being just the smallest thing was as it was important as the largest thing. So you always have mutual respect, mutual understanding, you know, and above all love. These children here are the future generations. So if they understand us now and understand what we're doing and understand our motives and our values, well then maybe they'll carry it on in their own life. At least they'll understand. They won't think that we're so abstractly wrong. So, and if they choose to agree with any of the things that we do, it'll only help their world. You know, that's the way I see it, you know.
My people were very productive people, and they were productive as a collective. They were productive as a people, as a village. So for a group of young people to come together and work together to have this structure at the end of it, and for them all to be there, doing part of it, being part of it, would have been something that would have spoken very loudly to my ancestors, because that's the way, you know, that's the way of doing it. And it's not about so much where we come from, it's where we are now. This is the landscape of these young people. This is where they're growing, they're playing, they're learning, they're doing, they're part of this community. So whether or not they're from here, the blood of the Sinaiaks, you know, it is who occupies this land, who's here now, how we've been brought together to do this thing.
This is one of the traditional ways that we built pit houses, minus the door. It wasn't until the late 1800s, early 1900s that the door come in. Regardless of what people say, I know why now. Also, my grandmother, my tupa, has told me why. But the slope, I didn't find out until I actually lived in one, why this slope is so necessary at the degrees it is sitting here. She didn't speak English very, very fluently, and she was born in the 1800s. So when she told me, and I couldn't comprehend our language very much, she would show me hand signals, and she told me about that slope, you know, to build our pit houses. And the reason why is erosion, and also too, very hard to detect. When these things are buried, you will not see them nowhere. You know what I mean? Because of the slope that they have, and also erosion, you can dump the dirt on top.
And for as far as the children are concerned, you know, it's for them to help out. You know, it's going to be to their benefit, you know, in the long run, because that's what life is made upon, is memories. And so it'll be one of their memories in life, you know, whether it be a good experience or bad experience. It depends on the participant anyway, you know.
My name's Garrett Ballandine. I'm 18 years old, affiliated with the Métis in grade 12, hoping to finish up at cooperative education, and I'm working on this pit house project and helped come up with the idea for a film. The film's important because it can offer a new glimpse to this area that some people might not know.
I'm James Silver. I'm 16 years old, and I'm here at building a pit house, help building, and go to Trail Middle School in grade 10.
My name's Tony Appleby, and I'm Métis, and I'm actually the women's rep for the local community, and I work as an Aboriginal education support worker in School District 20, and my background is a wildlife technician. I think it's amazing. I just think it's such a really wonderful opportunity for the kids to get out of, you know, the classroom situation and be put into an experiential learning situation where they actually get hands-on skills and are able to participate in the community and building an actual structure that hopefully they'll be able to come back and utilize in the future. And I think it's just a phenomenal opportunity for these kids.
I think it's doing really good. I'm so glad kids are here helping out. I'm just glad it's all happening. Because we need a bigger place for our winter dances and our gatherings, whether it be Thanksgiving or whatever.
Now the way these traditionally built, we'll go inside here. Now, the reason why it's in a circular motion, not only does it get off a different energy when you're in a pit house, but also too, it makes it a lot more sound. The structure is a lot more sound in a circular dimension than it is in the square dimension. Because what actually is happening now, when this thing is buried, that log is locking in that log is locking in that log all the way around. So it's kind of like an egg, like a dome. So you got your pillars here, your what I call your uprights, and your beams. They are there for if there's any shift or movement in the pit house, they are to keep it stable, earthquake, whatever the case might be. Other than that, once you get this place put up, you don't necessarily really need those, other than for those reasons. You can actually take them down. They're not holding weight anymore. They are now, everything is starting to lock into everything once it's all done. Now the way we traditionally did it was we peeled the bark on the logs. We saved the bark. We took the bark off as a whole unit, pretty much. You know, maybe 5 foot, 6 foot, 2 foot lengths. But we took the whole bark off as a unit. We didn't use, as you see, we got now the scrapers. You know, we open it, we split them open and open them up, and then we set the bark aside, and then we use the moss. If you see the moss on the trees, we use them as to chink, to put in between the logs. Once we put the logs back up, we put them in there and we chink them, and then what we do is we put cedar boughs and fir boughs on top of that, kind of like a shingle formation. And now we grab the bark and we do the same thing with the bark. The bark protects the tree, it'll protect our house as well. Then we put that in layers above the house, and then we bury it. Then we put the dirt on top of that. That's what we did.
Just the fact that they're underground, the fact that you can build like so many levels in one little thing, how they stay warm in the winter and stay cool in the summer. I just think they're cool. And like in the wintertime, you're never gonna know that it's a house. I think that's kind of cool.
This here place is 6,000 years old. So 6,000 years old, you know, for one little campground, you know, that's something in itself. So, you know, to share those ways, or share, you know, even for the knowledge that there was a civilization acting, and, you know, and had a set of laws and everything, and that everyone was taken care of, you know, in their, you know, without the type of governmental structure that's in place now. That in itself should be, you know, interesting, at least to the children, you know, of tomorrow.
With the film completed, we'll be hoping that some of us will be able to actually take it to these schools and present it.